Welcome. You are listening to the Louis Minor Show. I'm your host, Commissioner Louis Minor. Today is February 4th, 2023. Let's get started. So this is the start of February, and every February is the beginning of Black History Month here in the United States. Now, I wanted to do a little bit of research on Black History Month. Obviously, I grew up with it, but it originally started as Negro History Week, and then later became Black History Month. The guy that is credited with this is Dr. Carter G. Woodson, known as the father of Black history. And one interesting thing while I was researching this, reading some news articles on NPR, and the reason why February was chosen to be Black History Month was because that in February, President Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass' birthday is in February. So that's why February was chosen to be Black History Month. Another interesting fact, every year they come up with a theme, and by they, I mean the Association for Study of African American Life and History. And this year, 2023, the theme for this year's Black History Month is Black Resistance. And it reads, African Americans have resisted historic and ongoing oppressions in all forms, especially the racial terrorism of lynching, racial pogroms, and the police killing since our arrival upon these shores. So a little bit later on, I'll go into the events that we're having locally in the Bell County area to recognize, honor Black History Month. But first, let's go over the agenda for Monday, February 6, 2023. The first item on the agenda, as always, is the invocation, then Pledge of Allegiance. On the consent agenda item, we have the standard approval of the minutes of the January 2023 Commissioners Court meeting, budget and personnel amendments, claims, accounts payable, payroll, restitution, jury pay, and then consider authorizing the purchase of one 2023 Ford F-150 crew cab under the TIPS Purchasing Agreement Contract number 210907 with Syllabi Ford Fleet for the Road and Bridge Department at a cost not to exceed $42,723.75 with an appropriate budget amendment. Then we're going to recognize the Bell County 4-H Livestock Judging Team who won the National Livestock Judging Contest in Denver. Item 5, consider funding the Bell County 4-H National Championship Livestock Judging Team and their competition and the International Livestock Judging Tour in Ireland and Scotland. Total cost not to Total costs estimated to be $40,000 for two leaders and 4 youth contestants. Designated bingo funds will be used. Item 6, consider the purchase of 2 desktop computers and 1 laptop computer for $3,400 in the Justice of the Peace Precinct 2 for the use in justice and truancy courts with approved budget amendments. Item 7, consider adoption of a fee schedule related to the Bell County subdivision regulation. Item 8, County Engineer, consider and approve the final plat of Zunker Edition, being a 5.94 acre Lot 1, Block 1 subdivision located in Bell County, Precinct 3. Then we have County Judge and Commissioner announcements, and that is all for the regular meeting agenda. Now for the workshop on the same day, we have staff updates, receive various reports, capital improvement updates, jail expansion, the Salado Annex, Museum Archives Building, Killeen Annex, District Court facilities, discuss FY23 CIP capital improvement project plan. And then we have jail staffing discussion with the county auditor and the sheriff. Also, later on that afternoon, we have the budget kickoff meeting. So the county judge sent out an email. Auditor sent out an email to all elected officials and department heads. And this will be my first, obviously, budget. So it'll be interesting to see how everyone asks for what they need to serve the citizens of Bell County. And then we're going to discuss the next item, discuss moving of statues. And the reason why I have that on there is because, like I said in the last show, there are 2 statues now that I am aware of that need relocating. One of the statues, to my understanding, it was approved to be moved. And so I think it's an interesting discussion to kind of tie all this in and see what are we doing here. But we'll get into that here in a little bit. The other items, that was the last item on the workshop. Then it just goes into places where 3 or more commissioners, which is a quorum, may be, just because we have to disclose that. We have the Bell County Youth Fair and Livestock Show at the Bell County Expo Center beginning on February 4th through 11th. Then we have a meet and greet with exhibitors. It's lunch and auction. That's on February 11th. Then February 21st, there's a Hill Country Community Action Association meeting. And February 21st through the 23rd, the Commissioners Court is going to training at the V.G. Young Institute of County Government, 65th Annual School for County Commissioners. That's going to be at the Brazos County Expo Center in Bryan, Texas. So this week in local news, we had an ice event, lasted several days. The entire county shut down. ISDs, independent school districts, cities, the county pretty much was shut down from Tuesday to Thursday, and it was dangerous out there. Don't get me wrong. A lot of ice out there. There were accidents, a lot of down trees, tree limbs, especially Thursday when stuff started melting and people started getting out. You started seeing a lot of tree limbs broken and down throughout the city, throughout the county. But the same thing happened across the state. This was a significant ice event for the state. A lot of power outages. I think at the height, from what I read, was over 400,000 outages throughout the city. I know my parents, they live in Rogers, Texas, in Bell County. They lost power for about 24 hours. I have another sister that lives in Manor, and she said that they lost power for 55 hours there. That's in Travis County, Manor. So I know on Facebook, I've seen a lot of friends that live in the Austin area. They were days without power. And, our state officials said these are local outages, nothing to do with the grid. But this does have something to do with the grid. Our transmission lines, our distribution lines, that's part of the grid. I hate to tell you that. So, hopefully by now that things have thawed out, I just from everything that I'm reading, Austin had a lot of problems with getting the power online. So I hope my friends and family that are down in the Austin area, they all have power. But yeah, that's interesting how here in Texas, that when something like this happens, like the whole state shuts down. So I'm curious how much, we lost in economic impact this weather event had versus, getting sand and salt trucks out. What is that return on investment? Texas doesn't typically have a lot of snow, but this is the third year in a row that we've had, some significant winter weather here in the state that has impacted a lot of the state. So maybe that's something that elected officials should start looking into and investing in, as, these de-icing items, de-icing to get us going, to help thaw it out, keep business, keeping the economy going, because they figured it out up north that you don't have to shut down everything for some ice or snow. So some of the events that's going to be happening here locally later today, there's a African American art history showcase happening at the Killeen Civic and Convention Center. Also, what's going to be happening there at the same time is an HBCU college fair. So it looks like there's going to be a lot of HBCUs. That stands for Historically Black College or University. Also at the same event, they'll be having an event called Let's Talk Politics. And that'll begin at 1:00, February 4th. The political panel members will be Councilwoman District 1, Jessica Gonzalez, Council Member District 2, Riacos Adams, Council Member District 3, Nina Cobb, all of the city of Killeen, and then myself, County Commissioner Precinct 4, Louis Minor. So that'll be interesting, working, talking to the young folks there and letting them know how important and how strong they are. That I think that's the one thing that we really need to get out to youth, get out to individuals, that your vote does count and you are strong, and politicians listen to voters. But if you don't vote, they like engaging more with voters. Then on February 10th, later on in the week, the Killeen NAACP is having a Black History Month program. Starts at 6 p.m. 1800 at the Douse Community Center. And they'll be featuring an individual by the name of Jeffrey Peck. It's the great grandson of the founder of the NAACP, W.E.B. Du Bois. So I know that they are excited about that. I'm excited to go and listen. And, I'm a lifetime member of the Killeen NAACP, and I'll be an active participant in that program as well. So those are just some of the events that we're going to be watching, attending this month. I'm sure there'll be others that'll come up. So we'll just continue to work with our local partners and go from there. So wanted to share some information I got this week, something that I've been waiting for, and I'm excited to share with you. Finally got the quote back from the art company to move the Confederate statue. Now, my plan is to have a press conference and to have a kickoff to a fundraising drive. So there'll be more information coming out on this. And yeah, I'll have links. I'll share it on social media. I'll share it here. But, we need to let the Bell County Commissioners Court know how serious we are about this. And I think if we're able to raise all of the funds in a fast manner, I think that'll send a powerful message to them that there's a broad support to move this statue. So more to come on that. Stay tuned. Probably within the next 2 weeks, we'll be kicking that off. Got to check the weather. Weather's been a little crazy here lately, but we'll continue to move forward, take baby steps, take the steps that we need to get a vote to moving this thing, and we'll just go from there. So now let's just get a little update on the legislature. They're in session. Let's look at bills that have been filed. I know I did it earlier in earlier episodes, but they still have time to file bills. So let's look what our state reps are filing. Here we got Representative Buckley. He has filed HB 824 relating to authorizing certain political subdivisions to change the date on which their general election for officers is held. HB 1322 relating to the coordination of vision and eye care benefits under certain insurance policies and vision plans. HB 1434 relating to the staggering of terms of aldermen of the governing body of a Type A general law municipality. HB 1596 relating to the applicability of the law governing the provisions of state aid to certain local governments disproportionately affected by granting the ad valorem tax relief to disabled veterans. HB 1696, relating to the relationship between managed care plans and optometrists, therapeutic optometrists, and ophthalmologists. HB 1788, relating to the labeling of analog and cell cultured products. And HB 1789, relating to the application of nepotism prohibitions to a person appointed or employed by a school district as a school bus driver. Now we'll look at Representative Shine, which covers half of Bell County. I don't think Representative Shine goes anywhere in Precinct 4, but it affects Bell County, so we need to track his bills too. We have HB 398, relating to an exemption from ad valorem taxation of property owned by an economic development corporation and used for a public purpose. HB 419, relating to the exemption of ad valorem taxation by a taxing unit other than a school district of a portion of appraised value of a resident homestead based on the average appraised value in the preceding tax year of all qualified resident homesteads located in the same county. HB 1244, relating to the authority of the owner of a resident homestead to receive a discount for making an early payment for ad valorem taxes on a homestead. HB 1285, relating to the duties of the taxpayer liaison officer of an appraisal district. HB 1317, relating to the electronic delivery of certain communication required or permitted under Tax Property Code. HB 1319, relating to the electronic payments required or permitted under Property Tax Code, authorizing a fee. HB 1608, relating to the electronic payment for ad valorem taxes, authorizing a fee. HB 1609, introducing to the electronic delivery of certain communication required or permitted under the Property Tax Code. HB 1613, relating to the provisions of state aid to certain local governments to offset the cost of the exemption for ad valorem taxation of a resident homestead of 100% or totally disabled veteran. And HJR 23, proposing a constitutional amendment authorizing the legislature to provide for an exemption from ad valorem taxation by a political subdivision other than a school district of portions of the assessed value of a resident's homestead based on the average assessed value in the preceding year of all qualified resident homesteads that are located in the same county as the homestead. So it would appear that Representative Shine is totally focused on homestead exemptions, property taxes. So I guess he's going to be a major player in this. This is a priority for the governor, lieutenant governor, and for the House Speaker of the House. So there's a joint resolution for us to vote. Definitely need to understand what that means. So hopefully they'll let us know. And as for our state senator, Senator Flores, according to the Texas Legislature Online bill search, he has not filed any bills, 0, so far for this legislative session. I hope that changes, but we will see. One of the main things that I believe any elected official should be doing is constituent services, constituent case management. And for instance, this week I received a phone call from a lady. They just moved here from, I think, Virginia, and she didn't know how to file for an exemption for her husband, a disabled veteran. So she called my office, and I called her back. She gave me her name. I was able to look her up in the Central Appraisal District's website, got her property ID number, gave her the website for BellCAD, and told her the steps that she needed to do to apply for that exemption. And she thanked me. She says she's been trying to call multiple people, multiple agencies, multiple departments, and no one has given her as much information as I did. So, it's going to be things like that where people call and complain about an issue or need help with an issue and they don't know where to go. They just moved here. They don't know any people in the area to ask. Maybe don't feel comfortable asking their neighbor. So they're going to call the elected official. But it's things like that we need to be data driven as a county. And what I'm seeing is that a lot of the county departments, other county officials, there's not a lot of data collection. And, that's our whole job as service. So I think we need to be more proactive in gathering data, because the data will tell us everything. It'll tell us where we need help. It'll tell us processes that are slow and need focus on, whatever that may be. So having that, because I'm assuming once we go into the budget cycle for the commissioner's court, that's one thing I'm going to ask for. I'm assuming that's something that the other commissioners ask for is, what is your supporting data? What is your supporting information that's requiring a new person, a new hire, or new equipment, or extra pay? What is supporting that? So the more information that we can collect, more information that we can do to make us have more informed decisions, better informed decisions, I think is going to be key to moving our county forward in the good direction, in a purposeful direction, one that we're just not guessing, or we're not tugging at heartstrings, that these are backed by facts, and that it's something that we can hang our hat on, that we're making a good sound decision for the county taxpayers. So switching gears to local politics on city level, more and more people are starting to file. And once we get a comprehensive list, I'll definitely want to reach out to some of the candidates, some of the incumbents, and see if they like to talk their vision, how things have been going, and ways that we can help. The filing deadline for this upcoming election is February 17th, so you have time if you still want to. All district seats are open in the city. If you look at Harker Heights, those seats are open. Killeen ISD and CTC school board. So there's a lot of opportunities if you want to get involved and start working for your community. Since I've been involved with the city of Killeen on the Planning and Zoning Commission for over 2 years now, I'm the chair of that commission, and being involved with the Comprehensive Plan Committee, seeing the vision for the next 10 years, what we want, what the citizens want for the next 10 years. It's really important who those elected officials are, that they share the vision that the citizens adopted, that the council adopted. So that comprehensive plan, that is our planning document for the next 10 years. And every elected official that is running for city should be very familiar with the comprehensive plan and should have high bars to deviate from that. I'm not saying that we cannot go different on the comprehensive plan. All I'm saying is that if we do make a decision that is not in line with the comprehensive plan for the city of Killeen, then we should have some standards for doing that. And that's some of the questions that I'm going to ask everyone that's running for Killeen City Council. You know, have you read the comprehensive plan? What is your stance on that? You know, we've been having some good things happen in downtown Killeen. So I want to continue that forward motion for the city. And as the city grows and the development continues to occur in the south, that we get that development in the north as well. So that'll be high on my priority as a Killeen resident, as a city of Killeen voter, and as the county commissioner, because we're investing over almost $10 million for the Killeen Annex that we're putting in downtown Killeen. So the county is doing their part. The city is doing their part. So we just need to make sure that whoever those city council members are, that they share in that vision and that they don't lead us away from that. And I guess one last thing that we'll end the show on, in reference to politics. There's a lot of views for and against many different things: Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, Independent, Green, very conservative, very liberal, everything in between. But there was something in the news that, this one was disturbing, but also a couple of weeks ago, something else came out that I didn't bring up, but I'll talk about it now. But in New Jersey, a GOP councilwoman was shot and killed outside of her home. So was that a random act of violence, or was it targeted? We don't know. I'm sure it'll come out what that was about. But violence from political ideology should not. We're better than that. Also, they arrested a candidate for, I won't want to believe it, state representative in Arizona, and he was running around shooting Democrats' elected officials' house because he lost his election. He was an election denier, and he got arrested. I'm sure he's going to serve a lot of time for that. And then Nancy Pelosi's husband, the video was released of the intruder that entered their house and attacked them with a hammer. That video was released. So yeah, I'm starting to see a little uptick in political violence. So hopefully, no one takes that step. That's the wrong course of action to take, is physical violence. If you disagree with a candidate or an office holder, the best way is to first of all engage with them, get involved, ask them the hard questions, and then if you still don't like it, find a candidate to run against them, or run against them yourselves and get them out of office. But that's the current way, the acceptable ways to disagree and to engage with your elected officials. Never violence, never shooting, never physical violence. Like I said, that's not who we are. We're better than that. So with that, we will come back. I now have over 203 downloads of the podcast, so I'm happy about that. As it continues to grow, people listen more. You see, the cities are growing. Waco, let's see, California, there's Houston, Coppers Cove, Georgetown, Irving, Orlando, Florida. So, people are finding the podcast, they're listening to it. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is the number one podcast in Bell County for politics. So probably the only one. So that would make me the number one. But no, I'm enjoying this. I hope you're enjoying it as well. Like I said, this is new to me, so we're just figuring this out. We're figuring out together. You're getting to know Bell County, at least the political aspect of it, our community, Killeen. So I hope that this interests you. I hope that if you don't live here, you're considering moving here. It's a great place to live and work. But we could do better, and we are. We're working hard. There's a lot of good people that want to make this the crown jewel of the state. So with that said, we are out of here.